Rain has a funny way of making memories heavier, like the sky itself was grieving. That morning the cemetery smelled like wet earth and lilies when Jordan Wells stood under a black canopy watching the pastor lower his adoptive parents into the ground. He kept one hand tucked in his coat pocket, the other gripping the funeral program so tight the paper nearly tore. He didn't cry. Not because he didn't feel it, God, he felt every ounce of it, but because his parents always told him dignity lives in quiet. Behind him, whispers moved like smoke. "He's not blood, right?" someone muttered. Another voice answered, "He'll be fine. The real kids will inherit everything." Jordan blinked hard, let the rain roll off his lashes, tried to swallow the stone in his throat. His siblings, well, not really his siblings, more like landlords of his pain, stood yards away. Madison dabbed her eyes like she was auditioning for sympathy. Tyler rubbed his jaw, already calculating. Brooke scrolled through her phone as if grief had a feed. When the service ended, they drifted toward the waiting cars without so much as a glance in his direction. The house felt wrong the moment he walked in. Too clean, too staged. His mom's favorite mug already shoved back into the cabinet like she'd never held it every morning. The family wall, lined with Christmas sweaters and science fair ribbons, seemed to mock him. There was even a photo, his mom's hand resting on his shoulder, both of them laughing at some off-camera joke. He could almost hear her voice, "Chin up, son. Don't let the world shrink you." Then came the reading of the will. Cedar and old paper filled the study, an attorney clearing his throat, pages fluttering like a guillotine. At first, Jordan breathed easier gifts to the church scholarships in his mom's name. That was them generous, even in death. But then the language shifted. The businesses consolidated under a holding company to be managed by the children defined as Madison, Tyler, and Brooke. The lake house, the main home, all of it boxed neatly under their names. Jordan's own name existed only in a paragraph of gratitude, a token, a thank you for bringing joy. His jaw clenched, then released. "Don't make a scene," he told himself. His dad's voice echoed. There's dignity in silence. When the lawyer left, the temperature in the room dropped. Madison smoothed her skirt, eyes suddenly sharp. Tyler snapped the folder shut like sealing a coffin. Brooke finally looked up from her phone. Madison's words came crisp. "We're going to keep things simple," Tyler echoed. "Yeah, Dad wanted unified leadership, you'll understand?" Brooke leaned back, lips curling. "The assets need protecting." Jordan's throat dried. "Whatever keeps their legacy intact," he said quietly. His only concern was honoring the people who raised him. But Madison smiled, and that smile didn't reach her eyes. "Exactly. Which is why it's best if you take some space. We've already changed the security codes. There's a motel on Ridgeview Road. We sent your things there." "My things." Jordan's voice cracked, but he steadied it. "Clothes. Laptop. A few keepsakes," Tyler added, already stepping toward the door. "No offense, man. Clean process." Jordan rose slowly, fingers brushing his father's law books one last time. "You don't have to do this like I'm a stranger," he said, voice calm but carrying. "We grew up under the same roof." Brooke's eyes flickered. "We're protecting assets," she muttered. "It's not personal." But it was. Rain hammered the flagstones outside as Jordan stepped onto the porch. Two neighbors whispered under an umbrella. "He's the only one who visited every Sunday," one said, saw him mowing their lawn after work. They noticed him, then went quiet. He lifted his chin. "You good son?" the older man asked. Jordan managed a, "Yeah." That sounded more like gravel than certainty. The motel smelled like bleach and old coffee. A box sat on the bed, 2 shirts, a photo of his mom in the garden, a dented laptop, his father's wooden cross. Jordan sat the mattress, groaning beneath him, rubbed the bridge of his nose. For a long moment, the storm outside filled the silence. Then he opened the laptop. The fan whirred like a tired bird. The screen flickered to life. He lined the cross beside the trackpad, rolled his sleeves, cracked his knuckles. "If you can't find a door," his father's voice whispered in memory, "build one." So he built. Days blurred into nights. Coffee from vending machines. Cold showers. He biked to the library when the Wi-Fi at the motel cut out, surrounded by retirees and paperbacks. He scribbled notes on napkins, whispered ideas into his phone's recorder, drew diagrams on the backs of receipts. Most nights his code collapsed. His algorithms froze, but he kept grinding. When whispers around town said, "That's the Wells kid," the one they iced out, he pretended not to hear. Calm on the outside, plotting on the inside. His focus sharpened on artificial intelligence, not flashy gimmicks, but tools that mattered. Predictive models for small businesses, algorithms that could save overlooked hospitals. One night he uploaded a prototype to a forum and went to bed hungry. By morning, messages poured in. Someone in Texas wanted to test it. A man in London asked about licensing. For the first time since the will, Jordan felt seen. Still, he was broke. Folding his only shirt in a laundromat stomach growling, he caught strangers smirking. "Guess the family money didn't stretch far for him," one joked. Jordan pressed his lips tight, folded his laundry with meticulous care. Let them laugh. They had no idea. Months became years. The motel room turned into a command center. Contracts stacked. A small trucking company, then a mid-size firm. He pitched from behind fake backgrounds on Zoom, hiding the peeling wallpaper. When one executive finally said, "Send us the contract," Jordan muted his mic and laughed so hard tears spilled down his cheeks. He named his company CorePath Systems, rented a dusty office above a pawn shop, taped his parents' photo to the wall. Word spread. He's self-taught, built it from nothing. People whispered at diners. Didn't his siblings kick him out? Tables turned, huh? Karma. Someone chuckled. Wears a tailored suit sometimes. Meanwhile, his siblings spiraled. Madison's Instagram turned from yachts to vague posts about fake friends. Tyler lost money in a failed nightclub. Brooke's motivational quotes felt more like pleas. They were still loud, but hollow. Jordan never reached out. He just kept building. Then came the breakthrough. A healthcare giant noticed his diagnostic AI. In a glass tower conference room, Jordan pitched in a borrowed suit shoes, shined by hand. His voice shook at first, then steadied as charts filled the screen. This can catch what specialists miss, he explained. Silence followed. Then a board member leaned forward. We're prepared to acquire 1 billion. The room blurred. He saw not the men in suits, but his mom dirt on her knees in the garden, whispering, "Don't be afraid to plant where no one else sees the soil." He shook their hands, steady now. Headlines exploded. From motel to mogul. Billion-dollar mind. Rejected son, unstoppable force. Old classmates slid into his inbox with, "Hey bro, remember me?" Paparazzi flashed cameras downtown. Kids pointed him out on the street. And for the first time in years, Jordan smiled without weight. But then shadows reappeared. His siblings. The day they walked into his office, the sky outside hung gray heavy, like it too was holding its breath. His assistant buzzed Sir Families here. Jordan's jaw tightened. Send them in. Madison walked in first. No sharpness left, just desperation. Tyler's shoulders sagged. His jacket frayed. Brooke's mascara streaked her cheeks, phone clutched like a lifeline. They looked like children lost in a storm. Jordan Madison started, her voice cracking. We were wrong." Tyler stepped forward, palms open. "Man, I lost everything. I don't even know where to start." Brooke's lip trembled. "We thought you'd fail, that you weren't really one of us. But you proved us wrong. Please, just give us a chance." Silence filled the room. Jordan leaned back. Fingers, steepled eyes locked on them. In his chest, the scar of betrayal pulsed. But then another memory cut through the warmth of his mother's arm around him, his father's laugh echoing in the garage. Family isn't blood, they'd said. It's how you treat people. He let out a slow breath. "Sit," he said simply. They obeyed. "I don't need apologies," he continued, voice steady. "What you did cut deeper than you'll ever know. You threw me out when all I had was their name. But I didn't build this empire for revenge. I built it because Daniel and Grace Wells taught me resilience. Faith. Hope. That's what carried me here. Their faces burned with shame. If I let you back in," Jordan added, nodding toward his parents' photo on the wall, "it's not because of you. It's because of them. You'll have roles in the foundation. Real work, not power, not control. If you want redemption, you'll earn it, just like I had to." Relief washed over their faces, but Jordan didn't smile. That night he stood alone on his balcony, city lights flickering beneath him, photo of his mom in one hand, a glass of water in the other. "They begged me today," he whispered to the picture, "but I let them back because of you, because of the love you gave me when I had nothing." The wind carried his words into the night. He smiled faintly, not with triumph, but with peace. He hadn't risen to crush them. He had risen to honor the two people who saw him as family when no one else did. And here's the thing, betrayal burns, sure. But legacy outlives bitterness. Jordan Wells didn't just build a company, he built proof that love and grit weigh heavier than greed. Now I'll leave you with this. If you were in his shoes, would you have let those siblings back into your life or shut the door for good? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Because stories like this aren't just about him, they're about us, what we value, who we forgive, and how we define family.